What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So today I'm gonna get some work done on the Supra. I'm gonna go ahead and install this Stinger circuit breaker, and the reason we're installing this is, there we go. The reason we're installing this is actually because we relocated the battery to the trunk. Normally it's right here, and now, quick interruption before we continue. I just want to make it clear that this battery box is something that I set up and designed the way I wanted it for my car. It really doesn't follow NHRA rules or guidelines, being that it does not have a sealed box, a vent tube, or a cutoff switch that can be accessed from outside of the vehicle. That's not something that I wanted to do, but I just want to make it clear that that's something you will need to do if you want to follow NHRA guidelines and rules, if you want to run your car at events that require you to follow those rules. And these rules are for anybody relocating a battery from its factory location. It doesn't matter what kind of battery it is, the moment you remove it from its factory location, these rules apply. It is back here. So basically this power wire needs to have a circuit breaker or a fuse, just in case something is to go wrong. You get too much current going through it, too many amps, and it starts melting this wire, burning this wire. You don't want the car to catch on fire. So for 30 bucks, a circuit's nice. A fuse is also nice, but the only issue with a fuse is if it blows, you have to go change it. So you're pretty much stuck wherever you are until you get another fuse in. At least with the circuit breaker, you can just hit the switch. So pretty much say it's connected like this. If it sees more than 150 amps, it just strips it open and there's no more current flowing through here, so you don't risk burning your shit down. So just gonna use some basic hardware. Went to the hardware store, Home Depot, and drill the holes. I didn't want to drill any holes. But the thing is, this panel I made, I don't really want to sit this up top. It doesn't really fit anywhere down here. It would look out of place. I mean, I could run it down there, but that'd just still be a lot for that wire. I am running 2-gauge wire just because I feel like 0-gauge is overkill. It's enough to get the power up there to the starter and to the fuse box. So the 0-gauge is nice, it's extra insurance, you know, but I just didn't need it. And it's a little more complicated to bend that. And it runs through there and behind here. It's actually behind this plastic. Runs all the way through here. And I don't have this plastic in back in yet, so you can see it right there. Then comes out right here. You see this? I have it wrapped in a black sleeve. Then it goes to a distribution box right there. Comes up in here to the fuse box. Then the other one goes back down to the starter. So essentially that's how it is from the factory, but I'm just running a bigger wire because I'm running it from the trunk. And now I just need to, like I said, install that circuit breaker. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually drill a hole and mount it back here. I'll have to set the camera back there so you guys can see, but it's just not gonna work up top or right there. I didn't want to drill any holes in here, and I didn't want to use any tap screws, so that's why I made this panel. I felt like it looked cleaner, but I'm not about to redo the whole panel or make something else just so I can mount this back here. I'm just gonna suck it up, drill 2 holes, run two nuts and bolts in there, and tighten her down, run the wires to it, and it should be ready to go. Another good thing about a circuit breaker is if you're working on the car, you don't have to disconnect the negative cable. You can just, and your power is disconnected, so now you can work on the car, and when you get done, you switch it back on and you're good to go. So the one I'm using is 150 amp. Now I know some people run a 300 amp or bigger, but you don't want to run a circuit breaker that lets more amps through than your wire can handle. If your wire can only handle 150 amps, don't go with one bigger than 150 amps, because then it defeats the purpose of even having one, because the wire is going to be melting before it even trips. So keep that in mind whenever you're setting up your battery relocation. I know a lot of people don't do that. Me myself, when I first put it in, I didn't even think about it. Like I said, I just saw from the factory it was battery to starter to fuse box, and that's how I wired it up. But that's just not the way to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this installed. So turned out to be more of a pain than I thought. I had to take the back seats out, but there you got it. So pretty much feed these through here. Go ahead and lift the other side up. Well, run it through first. All right, so finally got it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up a little bit. And just like I thought it would, it's starting to spin. Actually, no, this one got tight. So go ahead and stick this wrench back here. Try to get it on there. Might not work. We'll see. There, nice and snug. Don't gotta go ham on it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Not gonna go nowhere. Don't gotta worry about tab screws. If I ever need to take it out, just loosen it up. Same way I put it on. And it's actually out of the way. You don't see it. It's not too much going on over here. And now all I have to do is cut this wire, run it in, run it out, tighten it down, and should be good to go. Put the seats back in. You got it. Cover over it, and that's pretty much it. Right now, no power, and you hear it come on, kills power, power on, kills power. So, not bad. A little pain getting back here to drill the hole, but other than that, it's good. Simple install. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these seats back in, and yeah, there you got it, man. Well, guys, finally got it done. Gonna redo this wire. I really don't like the open end, but use a breaker. All the wiring ran to it, all installed. Now, this panel, I've gotten a couple people asking me about this panel. It's actually an aluminum panel with a carbon fiber wrap. Like I said back there, I didn't want to use tap screws. Same thing up here. I didn't want to use tap screws for relays and fuses and the battery box, because if I have to change this battery, I would have to take the tap screws out that are holding this battery box to the car. With this panel, I just use these existing mounting holes, and then I just pull it out, undo these, then pull the box off, pull the battery out. I mean, it's a little, it can be a pain in the ass, but it's still easily, you know, I can put it all back together easily. So I think it's a cleaner setup. Now, there's no right way to install like a battery location. Like, there's, not that there's not a right way, but there's not only one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it. The battery doesn't have to go right there. The ideal spot is back here in this right corner, because that's the lightest part of the car, specifically for a Supra. But it's a 9-pound battery, so right here it's not really gonna hurt it. And it's still in the back, so it's out of the engine bay, gives more engine bay space, and still takes weight out the front and puts it in the back, which is ideally what you want. So I did it right here because I like my stuff nice and neat and tucked in one spot. I didn't want to have a battery back here and relays up here, or a battery over here, over there. I wanted my battery right up here, right there, and this, it's obviously, this is all already here. I just attach this panel to it and attach everything to that panel. So I felt like this would be the cleanest way to do it. All my wiring is running right through here, then it goes into here, and then comes back up out here to my fuel pumps. And then my fuel pumps are triggered through the ECU running up through this harness right here. So this is the cleanest way I could get it myself. Like I said, there's not just one way to do it, but this is the way I wanted to do it. So that's pretty much it. Like I said earlier, me myself, I did not install when I first did the battery relocation kit, but after further research, I realized what I was doing and what I was doing wrong. So my mistakes don't gotta be your mistakes. So just, you know, figure out the size wire you need for how far back your battery's going, and figure out how big of a circuit breaker you need for the wire you are running. But like I said, there's not one way to do it, but just try to be safe about it. Not much left to do on it, but still just a little bit left before I can bring it out the garage. And it's just kind of a pain to go over the car in such a tight space. So Stay with me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of this, some other cars, and I actually have something else going on that I think you guys might like. It's a whole nother project. I wasn't expecting it, but kind of came out of nowhere. So take care, guys.